drop him off at this hotel on the north side because he had to like figure out his feelings, because I think me being me, you know, like I'm also very affectionate, I like to hold hands, all the other stuff. I am attracted to him, could possibly date him. I think what he realized was that he does want intimacy, and he does, you know, he is ready to be in a relationship and, you know, all the other stuff and have like, you know, great sex, just not with me. So we're not, you know, we're not really, I don't know what the fuck he's doing right now, but we're kind of at a point where it's like, I'm kind of waiting for him to respond, you know, hit me up saying, you know, hey, how are you, da-da-da-da-da. So it was an illuminating experience. It was also like lit, like I hope we get to have sex again, but if not, like, I'm okay with like just a friendship because he's an illuminating experience.
I mean,
you said what? I said illuminating experience.
Glowing, bitch.
Right, okay.
I don't know, I feel like it's
you made him reevaluate his life. Go ahead.
Wait, you fucked him into therapy.
Okay. Damn.
With himself.
Wow.
God.
I feel like.
How much you charge for that?
Oh my God.
He's toxic. What do you think,
Shit, I need some reevaluation.
What the fuck? Wow.
Go ahead. Oh my God, y'all are something else.
Us.
I feel like.
Okay.
My bad.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I feel like it's kind of hard to have like a friends with benefits kind of situation. Like, I don't know, maybe if it's just like a
strictly sex?
Like, well, I would say like it's already a situation when a female and a dude, like a straight female and a straight dude, are friends. Because everybody always assumes that they're fucking around, or that there's some situation, or that there's feelings and stuff. And I'm not gonna stunt, like a good 7 out of 10 times, there's emotions on one part. Whether it be the man or the female. And it's just like, so when you complicate that with a physical relationship, then it only
illuminates.
But is it not only a problem?
It only just makes kind of like the whole situation a little bit harder to like digest. You know what I mean? Like,
and creates blurred lines.
And then there's like these blurred boundaries kind of situations. Like I said, people get in their fucking feelings. And I'm not gonna lie, it's usually the females. But that's just T-shade and all that. But
that's because we don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to express how we feel.
So do most women. It just I honestly believe it just depends on how the relationship is in the beginning. If you're like, all right, I wanna have a physical relationship with you. That's it. Maybe we can hang out, do some other shit. That's cool. All right, I'm gonna hit you up every 3-4 weeks or whatever. It is what it is. But I feel like when people have like really deep friendships, and some people like go through certain situations together, it's really hard to it kind of, like I said, just makes it hard to have a physical relationship with those people,
or just have a physical relationship,
right? Because there is emotion attached, but now it becomes a different type of emotion that's attached, because it's like, especially if the shit's good, you're like,
hang on his head.
So
not scary too.
So my next question.
Don't take this off. You go fuck it up. Stop.
So. Oh my God, you're the fucking worst.
First trophy. Next question.
Okay, let's change up the vibe a little bit. What music artist do you feel is overrated and why?
Lana fucking Del Rey.
Yes! 100%!
Lana Del Rey fucking Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez because they're underwhelming vocally and over fucking.
Why the fuck would you come at Selena Gomez like that?
Because she's fucking vocally underwhelming and very overwhelming. She does well with what she has. She knows she's not the best singer, but I feel like she, as well as the other two young ladies, are overhyped. Now, when it comes to Lana Del Rey, I will give songwriting to her and even Taylor Swift to a point, but that's it.
I was like, 'cause you came from my L. Del Rey girl.
I know, and I don't care.
I don't care either. I think she's fucking.
And she's not even Latina. Like, she's not even a white passing Latina. Her name's just Lana Del Rey, but there are still people to this day that will think she's like just a white passing Latina. Like, no, Christina Aguilera's a white passing Latina. Mariah Carey's technically a white passing Latina because her father was Venezuelan and shit like that. And Tori Kelly's a white passing Latina because she's Puerto Rican. Anyway, she is. Her father is Jamaican and Puerto Rican, but she's white passing because of her dumbass. Anyway.
Overrated.
And Tori Kelly, if you ever watch this in the future, you need to give us a fucking Spanish language album. I love you, please.
Mm-hmm. Overrated and why? Music artists. Charles is like holding hard onto his wig because
dang, what did Lana Del Rey do?
I can't necessarily say that nobody's like overrated. Like, shit, you hyped up. If you getting them, you making motherfuckers like you like that, it is what it is. Like, you giving them something to talk about. Like,
that doesn't mean there's talent or substance.
I don't give no fuck about none of that shit. If you successful and you doing your shit at the end of the day, get that hype. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna let Charles answer, and then I'm gonna answer.
Y'all gonna hate me for my answer, so, but it's fine. Aaliyah.
Okay, I can see that.
Aaliyah's overrated.
The only reason she's overrated is because she had a lot of potential, and then she died really young because she was just starting to come into her own, kind of like Selena. Except for Selena, to me, is not overrated. You know, I don't know, but yeah,
and it's okay because I always get this kind of argument or debate. They're like, oh well, if Aaliyah was alive, this person would be popular, this person would be popular.
And I remember.
And I'm like, and honestly, I'm the type of person that researches Billboard history, all that jazz. So I'm like, okay, like, she wasn't even selling as good as, like, Brandy or Monica in her prime.
No.
So then those girls, once we got into the 2000s, I mean, no shit to y'all. But when they got into the 2000s, like, they pretty much became almost B-listers. Mm-hmm. So it's like, just looking at the numbers and looking at, the hits-wise and stuff, I'm like, if Aaliyah wasn't even ahead of them at the time, it's like, so... Not saying that she wouldn't have. I mean, it is possible, but it's like you can't logistically say, oh, well, she just would have been this tour de force. I'm like, because she already wasn't.
Mm-hmm. It's more so the reason why she's popular is because of like the whole nostalgia factor of what could have been, this, that, or whatever. But to me, she probably would have been a dope ass. She would still have done music, but she would have been like Jennifer Lopez, like a very good actress and like still like a decent entertainer.
Right, and I mean, it happens a lot. Like when certain artists die before their time, they have a tendency to be hyped up. Like, oh, they were this, they were that, and I'm like, and that's fair.
Kind of like Nirvana.
Man, y'all talked about me. Let me die in peace.
I mean, I say you were great. I won't say you had a number 1 record or anything, but that's just how I feel about it.
I guess that's like on a technical standpoint though. But if you just like took away like technicality. Like, some of these people, shit, they just like to perform and act. It's not even really about the singing for some of these people.
That's clear with a lot of people.
Yeah, like a lot of these people, they judge them because they can't sing or because they can't do this. But most of them are performers. They're not really even singers. These are just like small skills that they have or these talents that they have, and they're able to use them with the other shit that they really know how to do.
And compensate.
Yeah, and then it becomes something and then that's when auto-tune come in.
Right. That's why I said, I'm like, I agree. A lot of them really don't care about their vocals.
Yeah. It's a lot of shit. It's so many motherfuckers that I don't think can sing, but who am I to judge?
Right.
Some with ears.
So, look, child, because some of these people, that's why I don't judge.
Like in the studio, yes. Live, you like, how?
I definitely feel like that's the same. Like everybody.
No, Miguel can sing. Don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Who said he can sing?
I can't stand his voice live.
No, his voice is one thing because Charles doesn't like K Michelle, but both of them can sing. It's just a matter of aesthetic preference.
What? What?
I like the way that he performs.
Thank you. Except that one time he drop kicked somebody.
Yeah, but that's okay. He's definitely a great performer, but I don't necessarily like his voice.
That's fair. But you do at least acknowledge he can sing.
Oh yeah, he can sing. Because
that's how I feel about Sam Smith. Like, I think he can sing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like his voice.
Unless it's if he has to sing, no, he prefers more like Dancer with a Stranger.
I don't know what
like,
it is.
Stuff like in that.
It's a little bit too nasally sometimes, but that's another conversation.
Sam Smith gives me one of those people who like tries not to sing and be emotional at the same time.
But he always sounds whiny when he sings.
So like,
especially if it's a sad song.
Yes. You don't like his voice?
I
love you, Sam Smith.
I've tried.
Okay, hello.
I've tried.
Sing for me.
Not today.
Oh my God.
Maybe not tomorrow either. Next question.
Our next question is, how do you feel about Modern Pride Month and what it stands for?
Fighting.
Wait, hold on.
Pride Month, not just the damn parade.
No, that's
Modern Pride Month.
But homosexuals are always
Someone
fighting.
just got to say yesterday. I was at a bar. Go ahead.
Go off, King.
Right.
I like that it's getting more inclusive as the years go on.
I think it's getting commercialized, but
I very much so. I was about to say that, but I'm gonna let him speak on that. But I'm not even gonna say shit. He'll do better. It's a bit too flashy for me. I would like to, enjoy the energy of the culture that I live, but I like to be low key about it, and a lot of times it's not.
Sure.
As for me, I actually thought about this, those holier than thous while I was driving downtown to take care of what I was going to take care of. And, some people say, because I saw something about Martha, the trans woman that started, the Pride movement and the rights for Pride movement. Well, Martha Johnson, yes. Martha didn't die so you could get your back blown out in an alley by 2-3 randoms. First of all, Martha didn't die just like Martin Luther King didn't die, just like Malcolm X didn't die. She was killed because somebody somewhere did not like what they all stood for, so then they chose to eliminate them. That's the first thing. To me, Pride is the reason what Martha stood for, as well as these other people whose names we don't know, but hopefully we will in the future, because that's kind of the era we're living in, like telling other people we don't know story, like with Hidden Figures and shit like that. What Martha stood for, and as well as everyone else we do know and don't know who's more underrated, was for you to be your most authentic self. If you getting your back blown up by like 2-3 random strangers because it's Pride Month is your most authentic self, okay, cool. Pride self means that you own your sexuality, you get back to your community the best way you're possible. Cool, but the point is just be your most authentic self. People tend to get too pretentious and self-righteous because of what they think it is, and it's not. They don't even know the history. So, but I do agree that Pride is also getting a bit commercialized, and a lot of companies are capitalizing off of that when they don't really give a fuck about the LGBTQ community or the rights at all. It's just about a check. But JJ Malibu, I'm looking at you. Well, that's more so black rights. Anyway.
And I feel like when Pride, the area time comes around, a lot of people tend to be a little bit more open with who they are.
Yes. That right back into the little ass box.
I wish that people would understand that however this is that you are trying to be, or that whatever this little, how you jump out of it, shit, if that's you, be you all the time. And if it's not you, don't do that shit.
Just cap.
Yeah,
because it's a fucking facade.
I'll let Charles answer it. Give my take on that.
We'll get Sydney's take. But no, I definitely think it's commercialized. And it's crazy because when Pride Month comes around, I don't know, it's normally you see the rainbow colors and stuff, and it's supposed to make you feel like, oh, this is a great and joyous time. But to me, I'm just I'm tired of seeing all these Facebook ads.
Hello.
And then you see Facebook and change their colors to rainbows, and you see Google and change their colors to rainbows.
Snapchat at some point.
And probably Twitter, they get enough money from the gay community for other reasons. And I can remember maybe 10 years ago or whatever, where it was okay, yeah, the parade's up here or whatever. It didn't seem so people were trying too hard. You got celebrities and politicians who normally don't really speak on anything LGBT marching down the freaking street telling us, vote for me, I like gay people. I'm like, do you?
Do you really?
Do you
Like
like
the
care
vote.
for real?
When's the last time you even had an actual conversation with an actual gay person?
Or have been in the gay
Or
bar.
been in a gay bar. Been at any other gay event other than this parade that the city paid for you to even
Right.
have.
You know?
You got the credit card companies out there. You got Starbucks. You got all these things. And then it's like now you got the Pride Parade in the park. Or whatever, now you're charging us $40 to watch people perform for us on our day. And 9 times out of 10,
They're not
some of them aren't even LGBT. And it's just like, oh, okay. So we're giving our money to corporations every year, almost, but to commemorate something that was much bigger
I
than
don't
that.
usually get my money. I get other people's money.
Or whomever. But it's like, it definitely steps away from the core of what Pride Month is supposed to be about: being openness, being being your genuine self, or maybe it is the one day that you feel comfortable enough being your genuine self because we wear masks all the time,
Take them off.
Especially in COVID.
right? So it's like it definitely has stepped away from that because I mean, yeah, I remember Pride from like 10, 15 years ago. It was kind of fun. It was kind of naked, but it was fun. But it was fun.
There was a lot of things happening.
Right, I'm just saying, but it's like now Pride is like, oh, let's have this big parade with all these corporations. Let's have all these bars blocking people out from walking in the street so you're forced down the hamster line.
Well, that concludes our episode for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great one.
Woo!